Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I did a look using the Morphe x KathleenLights palette. This palette has been out for a while, but I haven't really gotten to play with it too much, so I wanted to use it today. I created kind of just a bronzy eye with a wing, pretty easy. But yeah, if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. So here I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour extended eye base to prime my eyes, and I'm using a buffer brush to make sure it's blended in evenly. Taking the Morphe 350 palette, I'm going to set my primer with that cream shade. And then going in with this orange color, I'm going to use this as my first transition shade, and I'm applying it directly into my crease. The colors are looking a little dull on here, and I think it's either because of my lighting or my camera. Next time I should be using a different camera when I film, so hopefully it will look better. But for now, please bear with me. Can we just talk about how bad my flyaway hairs are though? Oops. Next, I'm going to be taking this Morphe x KathleenLights palette and using this baby puke color to blend into my crease as my next transition shade, and I'm focusing it on the outer corner. I'm taking this brown reddish shade and I'm doing the same thing as I did with the color before this, but I'm just focusing it a little bit lower, but still on the outer corner. Now I'm just taking the brush I used for that baby puke color to blend both the shades in together. Going back into that orange shade that I first used, I'm just going to make sure all of the colors are blended together. Now I'm taking concealer and just carving out my lids to clean it up a little bit. Now taking this golden bronze shade, I'm going to put this directly onto my lid all over. Now taking this cranberry-ish brown shade, I'm just focusing this on the outer corner of the eye. I didn't realize how pretty this color actually was, but yeah. Now taking the baby puke color again. It's really not a baby puke color. I don't know why I keep calling that, but I'm just blending that back in. Same thing with the red-brown shade. Now I'm taking my Inglot Gel Liner and some Duraline and applying my wing. This is a lot harder to do on camera than it looks, so let me just say that. And also, I didn't get to do my whole wing on camera because my camera ended up overheating, so yeah. But right now I'm just carving out the shape of it. I like to do that on both sides before I actually fill it all the way in to make sure they are even. Now I'm going to take my Maybelline Big Shot Mascara. This was the first time I used it. I thought it was pretty good. Not my favorite mascara, but it got the job done. Then I'm going to tightline using my Marc Jacobs eyeliner. I also applied lashes from the brand Kiss. I'm now going to take my Pixi Glow Mist to prep my skin. Then I'm going to prime my skin using the Becca BackLight Priming Filter Primer. And now I'm going to use the new Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation. This foundation is supposed to look the same in all lighting, and it's not supposed to give you flashback on your photos. I tested it and it worked well. This foundation definitely has more of like a satin finish, not very dewy, but not super matte. Then I'm going to take my Cover FX custom enhancer drops to just make my skin look a little bit more dewy. Now I'm going to contour. I guess that's my contour face using my Tarte Shape Tape concealer. And I'm going to blend that out using my Morphe sponge. I like using a different sponge to blend out my cream contour so that it doesn't mix with my concealer. And I'm just blending it directly into my foundation. Now I'm gonna cream contour my nose, and I'm using the Jady Wady 180 brush to do so. Now I'm gonna start highlighting my face with the Tarte Shape Tape concealer in the shade medium. And I'm just applying it directly into all the center areas of my face and blending it out with my beauty blender. Next, I'm going to bake using my RCMA No Color Powder. This powder is my favorite because it doesn't over dry your skin. It's probably the only powder I can actually bake with because my skin is on the drier side. Next, I'm going to be taking the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette to contour my nose. I'm doing this while I'm still baking because it kind of provides guidelines for where I should actually contour my nose, so that just helps a little bit. Now I'm going to be pressing in the powder before I dust it away, just to make sure my skin is actually absorbing it. Don't really know why I chose to use the word absorbing, but I'm just making sure it's setting into my skin. Next, I'm going to be taking the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus pressed powder. The shade was a little too dark, so I'm using it as a bronzer. The shade would probably be my correct shade when I'm tan, but right now, if you can't already tell, I'm pretty pale. So this worked pretty good as a bronzer. I'm going to take that Kat Von D palette again and just carve out my cheekbones a little bit more. Next, I'm going to take the Jaclyn Hill x Becca palette and use the Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop to highlight. For blush, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Apricot in the middle. It's a nice peachy shade. Back to the eyes, I'm going to take that sandy baby puke color and just run that along my lower lash line, and then taking the darker color and only focusing it on the outer corners. I'm going to use this shade to highlight my inner corners, and going back in with that mascara, I'm just going to apply that to my lower lash line. I'm going to be using the Coloupop lip pencil in the shade BFF3, and I'm just going to completely fill my lips in with it. And for my liquid lipstick, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Always On liquid lipstick in the shade Stepping Out, and then finishing off the look with MAC Fix Plus. So this is the completed look. I hope you all enjoyed watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And yeah, see you next time.